Hello again everyone, welcome back to DIY The Art of Wood, Automotive Edition. I'm Jeremy. And today we're going to be replacing the side view mirror on this 2008 Ford F-150. And believe it or not, the damage to this mirror is actually from a hit and run. And I'm going to do a little public service announcement here. If you're driving around and you smash into somebody's car, you break their mirror, you dent their car, don't just drive off. Leave a note, take responsibility for it. Before we get started here, I want to make one little quick note about the mirrors on this truck. This particular truck has manual mirrors, even though there's a bundle of wires and a plug sticking out of the old busted mirror. These are manual mirrors. To be honest, I'm not sure why this wiring harness is here. Maybe at some point this mirror was replaced with a mirror that would have normally gone on a vehicle with powered or heated mirrors. So I'm going to be skipping that step of making that connection when I replace this mirror. But if you have a vehicle with heated or powered mirrors, don't forget to make that connection. It's usually pretty easy. There's going to be a bundle of wires coming off of the mirror and a bundle of wires coming out of the door. Just connect them together. There's usually some sort of a plug that'll just snap right together for you, but don't forget that step. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is pull this door panel off. The mounting bolts that attach the mirror to the door are behind this little triangular shaped panel right here. Now, if you're not doing this exact vehicle, it's possible they may have a separate little panel you can pop off or remove without having to remove the whole door panel. But on this truck, the whole panel has to go. So we're going to get started on that. And on this era F-150, you got to pop the window crank, because this is manual windows too. So your vehicle may not have this. You may have powered mirrors, so you don't have to do this step. But if you have a manual crank style window like this, you're going to have to get this handle off, and all you do is kind of slide a screwdriver behind it, kind of gently pop it, there we go, and that will expose the screw that's back behind there. Now, the bolt that's inside this window crank handle is a Torx head or a star head, and it's a T20 size, and it's in there kind of deep. Hopefully we can get this to grab enough to pull it off. There you go. Now you can do this entire project with just hand tools. You don't need to use any power tools or drills. Just to get it done a little faster if you have them. And the next piece that we need to pop, there's going to be a screw behind the door handle latch there. There's a little panel right here. Stick a screwdriver in there and kind of gently pop it out. And it's a good idea to have a little tray or something to kind of drop all your parts and pieces in. I'm just going to use the little map pocket in the door here. And there is a little bolt there that needs to be removed, so I'm going to grab the socket for that and get that off real quick. Okay, so the bolt back here is a 5/16 hex head bolt. So grab a 5/16 socket and a ratchet, or if you got an impact driver or a drill, something like that, you could grab a 5/16 inch socket bit and pop that sucker out. And there's a little Phillips screw right down here too. Okay, I'm going to use a manual screwdriver for this one. It looks like kind of a delicate screw. Those Phillips heads say strip so easy if you're not careful. So it's not really going to slow me down much by turning it by hand, not a big deal. Okay, there's a couple more screws here at the bottom. They're 1/4 inch hex screws here. Just zip those off real quick. 2 of them. 1. 2. Okay, we're getting close to the end here. Okay, the next thing we need to do is pop this little panel off here. Speaker is behind that. So just grab your screwdriver and ever so gently pop that out. Try not to break the little plastic clips. And what size are these? Those are little tiny ones. Okay, so these little hex bolts here are 7/32, so grab a 7/32 socket and a little ratchet. And we'll pull these off. Okay, so that should just kind of pop out pretty easy. There's a little plug right here. There's the speaker wires. There's a little clip you just press and it should release pretty easily. And just set that speaker somewhere out of the way for a minute. Then I'm going to kind of swing the camera around for a second. Not sure how well you can see that, but there's these little, it's kind of like a little plastic grommet thing here with these little plastic inserts that the screws thread into. You need to pop the little plastic inserts out from the back like that, and then pull this little kind of grommet that the speaker sets into. Oh, it's only on the bottom. Okay, at least on this one. So at this point, the door panel should pretty much just lift off. So I'm going to reposition the camera and we'll lift the door panel off. Okay, so now that we got all the screws out, got the speaker out, got all that out, door panel should pretty much just lift off. I'm going to have to kind of wiggle it and jiggle it just a little bit. And there you have it. Now, the cable that connects the door handle to the door latch mechanism is still connected. I'm not going to remove that. I'm just going to kind of set the door panel down and just kind of let it dangle there, I think. Kind of the easiest thing. You could remove this if you want to, but I think it's more trouble than it's worth, to be honest with you. Okay, so the final step to remove the mirror is to pull these 3 nuts off that hold it to the door. It's a 7/16 socket, and just pull those off. And that mirror should just pretty much pull out. And there you go. Oh, okay, we can take a look at this now. So yeah, back side of this has the plug that would connect to the wiring harness if the truck did have powered and heated mirrors. So I don't know if it came from the anyway. So I don't know if it came from the factory this way or if this was a replacement mirror at one point, but maybe they just had one mirror for the truck, regardless if it was power mirrors or not. So anyway, it's a little interesting fact for you. Garbage. Okay, so installing your replacement mirror is basically everything in reverse. I guess I could just play the video backwards and it'll look like I've done it, but I'm actually going to install the mirror. So take your new mirror and put it in from the front here. Line the holes up here. There we go. And we'll take our, we'll take our nuts and we'll just kind of loosely thread those on for now, just by hand. Just kind of hold the mirror in place. And I want to kind of swing around to the front side to make sure it's kind of seated properly on the front. Make sure there's no little trim or molding sticking out before I really tighten it down. So I'll swing the camera around and we'll take a quick look at the front side before we tighten this down. Okay, so that's seated in there pretty nice. It actually fits pretty well. I think this is actually an aftermarket mirror. It's not an original Ford mirror, but it fits pretty well, so no problem. We'll swing back around to the other side and tighten those nuts down. Okay, so tighten them down. Kind of the best way to tighten any kind of nuts or bolts down is to kind of go in a pattern. Like when you're changing a tire, you don't just go around in a circle. You kind of zigzag back and forth and things kind of seat a little bit better. There's only 3 here, and it's just a mirror. It's not that big of a deal, but it's kind of a good practice, I suppose. You don't want to tighten one down, then tighten the next one down, then tighten the next one down. I kind of like to somewhat do them in sequence. Get them snug, and then go in for your final tighten. The torque specs on this for you gearheads out there is exactly there. So it's, you get it snug, a little bit tighter, and I'll even make the little torque wrench clicking noise for you. So it's, wait, perfect. Okay, that's good. I think we can just double check to make sure. Okay, there's our torque down to spec, and we can put the rest of the door together now. So, next move, kind of put the door back on, and you just need to be sure to kind of get the little door lock. Slide through the hole here, that's probably the trickiest part of this whole thing, I bet. There it is. Okay. Alright. There's a bunch of little kind of clips and stuff you just got to get lined up in their individual slots there. A bit of a wrestling match, I suppose. Okay. I think we're on the right track. Okay. Stupid door thing. I got the clips lined up, but now I don't have the door lock popper. Yeah, this is kind of the, I think there we go. Oh. Got her. Give it a little taparoo. Just tap it in. Just give it a little tappy tap. Little tap, tap, taparoo. Okay. We'll set this guy back in place for the speaker. Plastic sleeves in there. Get in there. And don't forget to connect the speaker wire. If you like listening to music, it's important to have that there. There, that's better. Now these you want to be kind of careful on because they are threading into a little plastic insert. So just snug. Anything past just snug, you're going to strip it out or break the little plastic sleeve. So that's the way it is anymore. Everything's made out of plastic. Remember my first vehicle was a 78 Ford F100, and it was all metal. Couldn't hardly find a piece of plastic on it. Oh well, what are you gonna do? Go. We can pop our little speaker cover screen. Just gotta, once again, give it a little tap, tap, taparoo. There. And let's see here. I'm thinking. There we go. 5/16. Now if you're going to use power tools to drive these in, go easy. Go easy, because you can strip these out pretty easy. Probably better to just do them by hand, but I kind of get them in there and then finish them off by hand or something. I don't know. That might be a good move. Yeah, might as well play it safe. Snap this little cover back on. Door handle. There we go. A tight fit in that hole for that little screw. And you don't need to go really tight there, but there we go. And then just swing the little cover back in place, kind of snap it back on, and you're almost done. Your one little screw under here, under the armrest, keeps you from ripping the door panel off the door when you close it. Kind of a little screw, so just, you know, snug is fine there too. And the last couple on the bottom here. Those are the side ones. Nope. There we go. 1/4 inch. Let's finish it off with a little ratchet here. Okay. Get off. Okay, and that is that. Mirror's done. We'll clean up here and we'll take a quick look at the finished installation. Well, I'd say this one turned out pretty well. It's actually a perfect fit. Surprising considering it's a used aftermarket mirror. But I say we can call this one a wrap.